All right, we are here. We are waiting on the final laps of the British GP, which has absolutely, probably, debatably been one of the best races of the season, in my opinion. I think this has offered a bunch of things that are going to be controversial. It's obviously about to bring us a driver who has never been on the podium and is now going to have probably his first podium in his Formula One career with one of the worst teams on the grid. That is absolutely box office right there. When you talk about a story of what will never happen and the slim chances if it ever does, Nico Hulkenberg about to have his first podium in his career with the worst team he's probably driven with, and without doing any in-depth just looking and analyzation. I mean, Kick Sauber has been a horrible team, and here we are now on the cusp of that. We got so many things to talk about when this checker flag drops, and we're going to talk about the McLaren situation. We're going to talk about the race master, Max Verstappen. We're going to talk about all that. We got plenty of things to talk about. A win is a win. Situations happen. But what I can say is, man, hey, things happen in racing. And I do believe, although on the front side, things happening, that you as a competitor do understand that all things are not valued the same, right? All things do not hold the same value, even to yourself, that it may have held if it were in different circumstances. And Lando Norris winning here at Silverstone doesn't hold as much value as it would have if he had won on merit. Clearly, the FIA penalized Oscar Piastri very harshly for a situation that was similar that we had already seen before in Canada. Max Verstappen has prayed for every safety car that he could possibly get, and still he is where he is. I without doubt do not agree with the penalty. I without a doubt do not think that the FIA are consistently doing what they should be doing. And to me, it's been horrible. To me, it's been a horrible situation. We've watched a driver like Max Verstappen be penalized in a way where it's not even really a penalties. And now we have to watch Oscar Piastri be over penalized with a situation he had with Max Verstappen. And it's crazy. To me, it's crazy. To me, it's ridiculous. To me, it's something that eventually should and does need to be evaluated. I'm not cool with what we're seeing happen here. I'm not cool with this situation that we keep having to watch. To me, it's ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous. Like I said, I just can't agree with it. I don't agree with it. And it's embarrassing. It should be embarrassing to them. They should be embarrassed by what they continuously keep doing on track, what they continuously keep showing us. I didn't see Oscar do anything wrong. I didn't see Oscar Piastri do anything wrong in the situation. He was trying to get his brakes hot. Again, Max Verstappen, you want to follow like you want to follow. You're the guy who has always unnecessarily overtaken underneath the safety car. They made a rule because of it. Oscar Piastri was trying to get distance off the safety car so he could heat up his brakes, one, Get the distance so he could. I mean, it's just to me. I guess if you're gonna penalize him, okay. But 10 seconds, 10 seconds was crazy. 10 seconds was crazy. Racer X210, we got super chats up here, my people. Let me check these super chats. We got Nah Auto Maintaining back with the family. Paul says, smash the like, y'all. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Peace and love, family. Racer X210 says, Pia took a page out of Max's playbook, and it shows Max gets special treatment. And Max Spin's Cam was a joy to watch. Yeah, he was. Facts. And this is where we consistently see other drivers get penalized harshly, where Max Verstappen gets a slap in a little pat in his hand palm. It was wild. But I got a question to ask all the Max Verstappen rats and roaches. Y'all was talking about Max GOAT, Max everything yesterday. And what did Max Verstappen do? He whined and complained, the car is undrivable in the final laps. When he got pole position, y'all wasn't talking like that. Coming this race, you wasn't talking like that. Now that you see the race win is not, you out here looking like a buffoon, spinning around, driving supposed to be the rainmaster, the wet echelon god, and you are out here looking crazy. And now the car is undrivable when you see that you're not even going to make podium. Now the car is undrivable. This is the things that I talk about with Max Verstappen that I keep trying to tell people about. But I'm going to tell you something else. Here we are, 12 races in, 2 race wins, and a 5th place in Silverstone, 16%. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, y'all keep calling him the GOAT if you want to. Y'all said he could take an AlphaTauri Haas to pole, and here it is. He out of there again. He's out of there again. Oh, the mechanic Mercedes, my brother says 10 seconds was harsh. That was unfair. I completely agree. 10-second penalty for Oscar Piastri was unbelievably unfair. It was unbelievably unfair. 5 seconds at the most is what it should have been. 5 seconds at the most. 10 seconds was crazy, but this is what they do. This is what the FIA do when they want to penalize another driver. But when it comes to penalizing Max Verstappen, they play with the cotton gloves. It's horrible. It's embarrassing. But I do want to listen, we got to send a special shout out to Nico Hulkenberg. Nico Hulkenberg, his first podium in his Formula One career is ridiculously crazy, yo. Ridiculously crazy. Do you know how long this man has been driving Formula One cars? Do you understand this? And here it is, his first time in his career, he gets a podium. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with confidence. Paul says 10 seconds was definitely way harsh. I'm sure that other way around would be different. It would have been. Max would not have got that. He would not have gotten 10 seconds. He would have got 5 seconds. We saw it happen before, right? We saw Max Verstappen get a 5-second penalty while other drivers following him in the same race got 10 seconds. That's wild crazy. Big D, DG Big Blue, and Neighbor says Max was losing out even before the spin. Max was out here praying for every safety car he could. Please, please, safety car. Please, please, safety car. And he was getting them. He was getting them. Max Verstappen finishes 5th place behind Lewis Hamilton. Leclerc finishes 16th. We did not get 2 Williams cars in the top 10, but still something to celebrate there. So let's talk about when the race first started. You know, they were going out talking to fans. They were talking to people trying to see, hey, who are you here to support? We had Checo fans at Silverstone, although Checo absent, supporting Lewis Hamilton. Not Max Verstappen, not Red Bull, supporting Lewis Hamilton while he's at Ferrari. That should tell you something. That should tell you a little bit about something. You would think that a spectator, a fan of Checo while in Red Bull might default to Max Verstappen. But no, they default to Lewis Hamilton, who's not with Mercedes anymore. He's at Ferrari. Derwin Hill says, Hulk on podium. Let's go. Congratulations. For real, man. For real. I mean, think about it. Hulkenberg on pole. Even if you don't like Hulk, right? You don't like Hulkenberg. You don't care for Kick Sauber. Come on, man. You've been racing in Formula One for a very long time. And I understand conditions are conditions, but everybody had to deal with those conditions. But of course, we understand these conditions can deliver a skewed, a skewed result. Nico Hulkenberg getting podium. While we thought Lance Stroll's lack ass was going to get it, Nico Hulkenberg, I prefer to see Nico get the podium than Lance Stroll get the podium. I'm just telling you. And this is a wonderful day for Kick Sauber. This is something that they really can go and celebrate. He had to drive. He had to be there when the opportunities presented themselves, and he was. And then not only on top of that, he had Lewis Hamilton behind him. He knew if he made any mistake, even a small mistake, it was going to lose him that podium. And I'm going to tell you, it would have been a bigger celebration for sure with Lewis Hamilton being on podium. But I am not mad about Nico Hulkenberg getting third place. I'm not. And I also would like to point out, this still might be somewhat of Ferrari maybe showing us results, but it's so hard. We got Leclerc back there in down 14th place, Lewis Hamilton in 4th. I just want to know, are people going to talk like they should be talking now? Are people going to say now that Lewis Hamilton is schooling Leclerc? Because that's a wide gap. Are people still going to say that Lewis Hamilton doesn't have what he needs to have in order to compete in Formula One? What are we talking about? You want to talk about the rain master? You want to talk about the master of wets? It's Lewis Hamilton. It's not Max Verstappen. We clearly saw that today. It is not Max Verstappen. They're going to make every excuse they can. They're going to come up with everything they can come in the book to try to be like, oh, no, where y'all at now? Get in the live chat. Where the hell y'all at? Y'all was poking your chest out yesterday, but today the car's undrivable. Man, y'all better stop. Leclerc's the best rookie in Ferrari even after 9 years. I'll give you that, but let's talk about some rookies. Silverstone was an absolute beast. Silverstone was an absolute beast on rookies today. It took Hadjar out, Antonelli out, Lawson, Bortoletto, and Colapinto didn't even get a chance to start the race because Alpine's mechanic situation. So there's no judgment on Colapinto today. Very difficult conditions, and Hulk held it together. Have to give him credit. 100%, bro. 100%. And I'm going to tell you, I'm giving him full credit. I'm going to give him full credit. He deserves it. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't wreck anybody out. He didn't drive unnecessarily aggressive against anybody. There's no reason to discredit Hulkenberg's podium today. Incredible Facts Quest said, come on, Jay, Ferrari didn't show shit. That's what I was getting to my point. Or you could say that I did say my point, that Lewis Hamilton is the rainmaster. So I'm not even sure Ferrari showed anything to me that's going to say that it's an upgrade over an update. I think today with the drivers split the way they were, that it was more credit to Lewis Hamilton's driving ability at Silverstone and in the wet conditions. That's what I think today shows me. Today can't show me or doesn't give me any more evidence to say that the update's an upgrade. We're going to have to wait until the next race. Today, what it showed me is Lewis Hamilton can manage very treacherous conditions. He can manage tires in the wet like he does in any other condition, that he can call his shot I was glad to hear the radio message say, what do you think? Lewis Hamilton said what he thought, and I think they went with that. So today was really more Lewis Hamilton helping Ferrari than Ferrari showing us they were helping both drivers. That's just how I feel about it. In my opinion, that's how I feel about it. And I would like to say that Max Verstappen fans awful. Max Verstappen tramp stamp wearing fans actually real quiet today. Where y'all at? Where y'all so quiet? Don't be quiet. Don't be quiet. Come on out. Come on out and talk to us. Oh, by the way, Sean did not reach out to me. I did not have Sean reach out to me about the wheel spin. So we will be spinning again for the center plate. We will be spinning again for the center plate. All right, we're going to go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and do that right now since we're early in this talk. And let's go ahead and let that happen. So we're going to go ahead and spin for the center plate. He did not reach out. Let's go ahead and get the image up here so we can get the wheel spin on so we can go ahead and see who we got. So we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Sean Wright did not reach out to me. I have not received a message, an email, anything like that. So let's go ahead and do it now so we can get on with the rest of the race breakdown. All right, so we're going to spin that wheel. Let's see who we got. And it looks like Walter Shavers. Walter Shavers. You have until midnight to reach out to me. I am removing your name, Walter Shavers. You have until midnight to reach out to me. If I do not hear from you by midnight, on the next live stream, I will be spinning the wheel again for somebody else to have an opportunity to win this plate. Walter Shavers, you have until midnight to reach out to me. I'm removing your name. He will not be able to be spun for again. Reach out to me by midnight, sir. All right, so as we go on, let's talk about this. Russell and Leclerc were the first drivers to take the gamble. First drivers to take the gamble that decided that, hey, we're going to go ahead. We're going to try to go on slicks early. And it didn't pan out. It didn't pan out for them. They went on slicks early and it didn't pan out. Actually, it turned out bad. It wasn't a good situation. It was way too early. And Russell was even told, let's be brave, not suicidal. That's what he was told. But Russell, being Russell, he hard-headed. He went ahead and tried it anyway. Nasty Stu in the Super Chat says, Hulkenberg has always been a top-tier driver. Remember Mercedes wanting him. I'm not going to go that far. Hulk has been serviceable. I'm going to say that. He's been serviceable. I'm not going to say that he's been a top tier driver for sure. I think that's a bit far. I think Hulkenberg has been available many times, and if he was really a top tier driver, a driver that people said he has been observed as top tier, he would have had better opportunities than with the team he's been with. So I'm not going to go that far, with the celebration of giving him credit, happy for him, but I'm not going as far to say he's a top tier driver. Hulkenberg is a serviceable driver. I think he's a competitive driver. He's a solid driver. He's a driver you could bring into your team that's going to give you a solid standard where your car might be. And then I think there's a lot of upside from where he is, and there's a lot of downside. He's in that mid-tier of drivers, but very serviceable. I haven't seen him do a lot of questionable things on track. I don't see him cause a lot of problems inside of the team. So it's somebody that I would bring in, but he's not a top-tier driver. I can't go that far, Nasty Stu. Stefan in the Super Chat says, Ferrari will get there. The conditions were awful, but man, the Ferrari looks more responsible. Lewis is coming. I'm going to say that Lewis was more of what we saw today. But I am still open for Ferrari on the next racing event with better dry conditions that won't be impacted by the weather to show us what they do actually have. I will say that. Incredible Facts Quest says, no, that's too far. I agree, Incredible Facts Quest, if you're talking in regards to Nico being a top-tier driver. Mechanic Mercedes says, Max just got an intense call from WD Booker T. He wants his Spinneroni back for dinner. Oh, my gosh. Bro be having the puns than the jokes. We're going to get into Max. I'm trying to give the Max Verstappen stand some time to come on in here so they can, try to prove their case. Paul in the Super Chat says, how about Russell saying it was more wet after he switched to hards when it never rained? Laugh out loud. Too much ego to admit he made a wrong call. And that's true. And you know what? He and Max are alike in that way. In that way they are. Rambro88 in the Super Chat says, I want to say Ferrari is doing better, but it seems more like Sir Lewis Hamilton was running his race, not mad at losing podium to Hulkenberg at all. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I do. I agree on that. And so we will also go ahead and get into Piastri drove a wonderful race. Piastri did. In my opinion, Lewis Hamilton, he would have been driver. I would give him driver of the day, although I would have to default to Nico getting a podium and doing what he did. Nico should be driver of the day. If it wasn't Nico, it'd be Hamilton. But Piastri, he got cheated today. Piastri got cheated. 100% he got cheated. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Lando got gifted a win. Lando definitely got gifted a win for sure. Piastri got cheated by that phony ass penalty call by the Mafia FIA for Max Verstappen. And I keep trying to tell people this. They're not supposed to be trying to let the aftermath depict their decisions. Max Verstappen spun out on his own. Max Verstappen didn't need any help spinning out or going off track because he did it several times before. Oscar Piastri put a move on Max Verstappen in the wets, played him right, and got the race winning position on merit. Oscar Piastri indeed also did what he was supposed to do under the safety car. Now, if you want to say it was a little bit abrupt on the brakes, okay, but we already saw that situation play out in Canada. How is it that we're getting a similar situation here? Only difference was Max Verstappen lost out on several positions. Why? Because he spun out. Because he's not the race master. Because he's not the wet tire master. That's why. Because he did it more than once. And because of that, I felt they penalized Oscar harshly. I do. I think a bit much too campaign for Lando Norris to be on podium here in the UK. I don't think Lando earned the race win because he was getting his ass gapped. I don't think Lando should have gotten a race win, but I think this is one moment where Oscar's still cool and Iceman, but one moment where I feel he felt so wronged and was pissed off that he broke his coolness for a moment in the car and he asked for this position back. I don't think he should have did that. I don't think Oscar should have came over the radio and asked for team orders to switch he and Lando for the race position. I think he got a bit more in his feelings. I understand why he was. I think he was hot and he was pissed off. I understand why he was. I just felt that him saying that over the radio, he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have asked for that. I wouldn't have asked for that. I know he felt it inside because he felt cheated, but I just felt you shouldn't have asked for that on the radio. Spies in 2 weeks, time to analyze data and get it to work with a new suspension. Time to do homework, Ferrari. Yes, and I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be a question. It's going to be a question mark. Because this race, I don't know if this race provided enough data for them to even go into this 2-week break and get everything they would have needed to got had it been a dry race. I think had it been a dry race, they would have collected way more information that could have helped them. Although the rear end was still showed itself is just unpredictable in some ways. It still was what it was. Gregory in the super chat says, let's get it gritty. Max was trying to do what they normally does, creeping to cheat the restart. Facts. That's exactly what he was doing. And if I could have swore for a moment that Max Verstappen overtook Oscar Piastri. So if you're going to penalize Oscar in that situation, where's Max's penalty? Because I know we're not saying that, he lost out on position, so that's his penalty. No, Max should have a penalty. I got to go back and look, but I think he overtook just a tad, and a tad is still overtook under the safety car. And if he did, Max should be getting a penalty equal to that of Oscar Piastri. 10 seconds. Go in the pit and serve it. OG Zilla says tinfoil. Tinfoil hat. George spun on purpose to keep Max third in the standings to prevent Max from activating his performance clause. I like that tinfoil. I like that one. Like it. Right. I like that. That's a good one. OG Zilla, for sure. All right, so let's go ahead. Still Oscar Piastri is still up there. It's still going to be a very battle for champions. It's looking like it's going to be a McLaren driver that will be champion. Oscar Piastri, if he drives like he's been driving as of late, he'll probably win the next race or maybe a race after that. So we'll see what's up. And other than that, let's go ahead down here and talk about Alpine. Gasly, congratulations also to Gasly. 6th position in an Alpine that is not a good car, in an Alpine that is seeming to fail, and in an Alpine team that definitely is looking forward to becoming a customer team. I think they will be a better team as a customer team as they have shown us. The Leon says Pia didn't even celebrate the win on podium, laugh out loud. He's taking the picture with Oscar. Oscar's taking the picture with Lando. He's taking the picture with Nico. I think Oscar's tired of the Max Verstappen and FIA bullshit. I'm just going to say it like that. I think Oscar is fully aware that anytime you're involved in a situation with Max Verstappen, they're looking for a way to penalize you harshly and let him off with even a pat in the wrist. I think he's fully aware of that. And I think somebody like Oscar holds a grudge on that. He's not happy about that. He's getting tired of that. He is. He's getting tired of that. Oscar still showed up for the podium. Oscar still popped champagne. He still took the picture. Max Verstappen would have did far worse than that. We've seen Max Verstappen walk off image. We done seen Max Verstappen walk off to the side. We done seen Max Verstappen sit in the back and pout. Although Oscar let his emotions get out there with him and he did that radio message, people are sick and Oscar's sick of everything that we see that the FIA do when it comes to in regard to Max Verstappen. He should not have been penalized that harshly, period. Now let's get down to Bortoleto again. Now I just got to ask, because there's a lot of people that criticize Colapinto. Bortoleto, F2 champion, he had a lot of moments this weekend. Bortoleto had a lot of moments this weekend, and he had a moment in this race that cost him being able to compete this race. Self-made maintenance in the chat said, "What's up, Wolfpack fam? Max doesn't have this. Alonso F1 needs to cut that shit. It's also F1. I was going to get to Alonso. Also, F1 needs to cut the shit. It's a good day when the other team but Red Bull wins. It is a good day, especially like that. Especially like that. And I'm just going to show it so they can keep seeing it so they understand where we are with it. Because they said it wasn't going to be like this. This is what you got for your boy Max Verstappen, the wet weather champion, the wet weather, wet, dry tire king. This is what you got right here. 5th place at the Silverstone GP. Dancing around on the wet track like a whore in the church house. Just slopping all over. Hey, I'm saying that's your boy. That's what it is. That's what it is. 2 race wins in 12 races. Hey, I don't know what you feel about it, but hey, I don't. That ain't goatish. And one of the fastest cars, and it wasn't undrivable until we got to the end and he knew he wasn't going to get a podium. Max Verstappen, as a driver, failed to manage his conditions and his tires. He slipped around just like everybody else, except I didn't hear a lot of people blurting out obscenities and cussing out, talking about the car's undrivable. Well, shit, everybody's car is in that situation. We all out here driving in the damn rain, Max. It's just that you ain't doing a very good job at it. Everybody's dealing with it. We got 5 retirements. Antonelli's retirement necessarily not because he spun off track. He got rear-ended by Hadjar, and Hadjar, I'm not blaming Hadjar fully for that because visibility was crazy low. Paul in the super chat says, these penalties seem the way the Mafia can keep their script going. Smash the like, y'all. For sure. For sure. So Hadjar having another tough, and big shout out to your boy, Matt Paul, wishing and hoping that he and his family are in more positive spirits and that he himself has a very speedy recovery. Very tough situation. Just sending a big shout out to Paul's friend, Matt. Yo, I'm hoping the best for him, man. And I'm hoping that you and yourself, are dealing with it well yourself, my brother, for sure. All right. But yeah, I'm not blaming Hadjar for this. He's getting the blame for it because he rear-ended Antonelli, but I'm not heavily criticizing Hadjar for that. Low visibility was low. Antonelli's having a rough time. As the last few races, like 4 racing events, Antonelli's been having a tough time. And here's another one where he has to retire the car because of no fault to his own. Gregory in the super chat says the penalty was the number 1 reason Piastri drove angry. Losing to Norris was number 2. I still believe Piastri will win the Drivers' Championship 2025. I have confidence in that. I'm confident in that. I do. I'm with you on that. All right, so yeah, I'm with you, bro. I think Piastri's the better driver. And I think Piastri's the more solid driver. Without this penalty, Piastri wins the British GP and Lando sitting second. It can't feel like it would have felt had he won it on merit. So that is what it is. Let's talk about the other rookies. We got Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson was doing what he do best. Liam Lawson was out there doing what he do best and doing what he does in order for us to feel like he should have never been promoted over Yuki. And he spun off track, and delivered the result that we are typically used to seeing Liam Lawson deliver. That's what he did. That's what Liam Lawson did. Good old Liam Lawson. Good old Liam doing what he do best, all right? And unfortunate, the Racing Bulls didn't have a good day at all. They didn't have a good day at all. And hey, Walter Shavers is in the chat. Walter Shavers, where you at, brother? Where's Walter Shavers? Where's Walter Shavers? Walter Shavers, where you at? Where are you in the chat, brother? I don't see you. Where you at? Is Walter Shavers in the chat? I don't see him. He must be in the chat. I can tag him. Where are you? Walter Shavers, if you are in the chat, I am letting you know right now, we spun the wheel. You do have the Ayrton Senna plate, courtesy of Jesse James, late rest in peace, Bell. If you need to contact me on Instagram or Twitter, if I do not hear from you by midnight, I will be spinning the wheel again for somebody else to have an opportunity to get the Ayrton Senna plate. You need to reach out to me with your shipping details, your email for tracking, phone number for shipper, so that I can get that known. If I do not hear from you by midnight, I will spin the wheel again for somebody else to get the plate. All right. All right. That's what we got going. So let's go ahead and get back into this, because we got Wolves Den in about, I think, 19 minutes. We got Wolves Den. So I want everybody to be in there so I can hear your opinions. And as we go into a situation right here, Williams, I'm very glad to see that Albon was able to get into the top 10. Sainz just about there, outside by 2 positions. Williams may indeed actually, hopefully, we'll see what happens the next race. This is kind of hard to tell where they are. We all know that these wet weather conditions can deliver some very skewed results. So we will see what happens going there. Derwin Hill in the Super Chat says, we got to talk about Charles and we need to determine who the donkey of the day is. Hey, brother, who do you think the donkey of the day is? Who do you think it is, Derwin Hill, my brother? So I am looking forward to see Williams, see what they're going to do in the next race. Now let's go ahead and get to Stroll and Alonso. Alonso, before the race, yesterday, you was doing a lot of Max Verstappen ball licking. You was licking all over Max Verstappen's balls yesterday. You any opportunity you get to lick some Max Verstappen balls, you just get ready. You put your beard on and just get ready for ball sweat to drip down on your chest. Alonso, then you crying in the race. You're crying in the race, and then you're licking Max Verstappen balls yesterday. Well, congratulations, you played yourself. You let Lance Stroll get ahead of you, however it may have happened, and Max Verstappen didn't win. And as Mary Beattie would call you, Mr. Salty Balls, I'm calling you Mr. Salty Balls. You're salty. Nico Hulkenberg, podium in his life. Congratulations. Alonso, you definitely an ass. And I am going to say that George Russell will be the donkey of the day, in my opinion. George, you know what? I'm going to let y'all vote on it. Who's donkey of the day? In the chat. I'm finna go ahead and put a poll up. Who's donkey of the day? We're gonna put some options up here. I gotta put him up here because of what happened. Here you go. Donkey of the day. Let's go for it. Poll in the chat. DG Big Blue Navy says ass of the day goes to Max and Woody. Ass, I got you. Ass strapping, crash strapping. Definitely. Donkey and ass of the day. We don't need to talk about Alpine much. Colapinto didn't get a chance to start the race. Gasly did what he did. Russell was told. I mean, he was told, let's not be suicidal, Russ. And he couldn't help himself. He could not help himself. One thing I will say is at least Russell gets to call his shot. Russell calls his shot and he goes for it. I'll give him that. Mechanic Mercedes says, these situations makes it hard for me to defend Charles. That call is something I'd expect a rookie to make. Driver of the day is Donkey of the day is Mr. Charles Leclerc. Yo, Mechanic Mercedes, I can see your point on that too. I'm with you on that too. Charles Leclerc, man, is this not what a lot of people criticize Charles about though, right? Charles makes rookie mistakes while he's not a rookie. He tends to put himself in situations that just seem unneeded. And this is why some people have less confidence in Charles leading Ferrari into championship jubilation. This is why. The Leon says, I hate to say it, but donkey of the day is Tsunoda for going to Red Bull main team and is having his stock in F1 drop. Damn, bro. That's tough. That is tough right there. That's tough, but that might be fair. And that's why a lot of people are saying, Hadjar, man, just stay where you are, bro. Don't leave. Don't leave where you are. Stay where you are. That's tough, bro. That is a tough thing to say, but that is hard and fair to say, bro. Yuki should have stayed where he was at. Derwin Hill in the super chat says, my donkey of the day was Yuki. Well, there we go. We got multiple counts for donkey of the day being Yuki. And Yuki was out there doing some foolishness too, man. He was out there with some foolishness. Incredible Facts Quest said, if Lewis and Leclerc miss the Monza podium, Bags and Maranello will be staged like a pit stop. He says, Ferrari, get your shit together. I don't think it's gonna happen. Incredible Facts Quest. I don't think it's gonna happen, man. Honestly, I think Ferrari if Racer X210 is probably not happy right now either. Today, like I said, was more about Lewis Hamilton than was Ferrari. We got to see that. And then, yeah, Leclerc Ocon and Berryman. How about Haas? How about the most non-American supposed race team doing what we know they do best? Above the door at Haas, when you walk into the facility, it says Wrecking is Racing. And that's what they was doing out here today. It was typical Haas fashion, just the dual pirouette of two Haas cars spinning. Just reminded me of Roman Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen days. It was like, man, that's Haas how you know them. Haas doing what they do best. They Haas to be Haas. They Haas to do better. Yeah, definitely. Definitely Haas doing what they typically do, y'all. But yeah, the race itself today, you definitely weren't cleaning your house today with this race. This race had you glued the entire time, a bit much on the safety cars and virtual safety cars. But this, to me, is going to be ranked around, to me, one of the best races, thereof currently of the season in this 12-race season that we have so far. 24-race season, up to 12 races. This, to me, will be one of the best racing events that we've seen this season. And so all I got to say is, it is very unusual. It's not unusual. This is how they typically do. Max Verstappen, stand fans, baby mama, tramp stamp wearing ass men and women out here did not show up in the live chat. In fashion, hey, let me tell y'all something. Before the race started, Max Verstappen fans was like, ooh, we gonna be able to hit the live chat today. We gonna talk so much shit. We gonna be in there trolling. We gonna disrespect people. And you know what happened? About what? I don't know. 5-6 laps into that race, they was like, is this? Yeah, we still gonna be able to be there. We gonna be there. And then when they saw Max Verstappen spin out, they lost their mind. They hung it up. They turned the race off. They turned YouTube off. They probably gonna wait. Like, we gotta wait till Wolfpack go off. We know he gonna usually go off about 12:30 or so because he got wolves in. We gonna wait till he get off live, and we'll go in the comment section and drop our dirty bombs, drop our little guinea pig, little boo-boos all over the place. Man, y'all out here looking crazy. Y'all out here looking crazy. Big shout out to Gregory in the super chat says Yuki was particularly reckless today. Shaking my head. Yuki has actually been reckless for a few races now. And I said this before. I think I said it last week. He's getting frustrated. I think Yuki may feel he made a wrong decision. I think Yuki now understands why other drivers dislike the second Red Bull seat. And I think Yuki felt, Paul in the super chat says, Haas looked like dancing queen, synchronized spinning. Facts. I think Yuki, for a second, overestimated his ability of being with Red Bull to go in there and think that he was going to be treated any way different. I think Yuki felt that if anybody would get a fair, equal opportunity, it would be him. And I think now Yuki sees, no, you're not. You're not going to get that. You're going to get the same treatment that everybody else did. You're going to get the same car that everybody else got, a Max Verstappen-centric developed car. And if you can't drive it, too damn bad. We're not going to make any concessions. We're not going to make a bunch of changes. I heard Christian Horner talking about we got to do something different. He's talking about it like that because they finally realized that, yeah, we might really have to do this. We might really have to do something different, y'all, unless we want to keep failing in the Constructors' Championship. The Leon son said Yuki should have went to Aston instead. He should. I think he should have waited. And I'm going to laugh at this. Max, Master of the Rain? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he should. He should have waited. And that's what we're saying about Hadjar. You should wait. So it is what it is, chat. It was another good race today. We got to see Max Verstappen, the race, the wet weather king, show us how real kings drive in the wet, you know, just spin around a lot on track and drive off track and complain about your car being undrivable while every other driver has to manage the same situation in a worse car. Other drivers were managing a worse situation in the worst car, and Max Verstappen decided to complain and cry and scream on the radio, cussing his team out that the car is undrivable. This is who he is. He's a blamer. He's a fault sayer pointer. He's a naysayer. He's a front runner. Max Verstappen doing what he does best, blaming everybody but himself. Everybody but himself. Yo, that number one on that car, it might be there next year. Max Verstappen might have just this historic drivers' championship comeback midway through the seasons. Only 12 races left. Max Verstappen doing what he does best, being the best driver in Formula One. What the hell is Kick Sarber out here dropping shit in the background? And he's just going to win the drivers' championship 2025. If Max Verstappen does that, I told y'all I'm giving him full credit for winning 2025 Drivers' Championship. Do it, Max. Everybody said this is what you're supposed to be doing anyway. All your fans, all the Max stands, all the people that come in the chat that say Max Verstappen the GOAT, y'all, this is what he's supposed to be doing anyway. Y'all told us that Max is supposed to be able to take an AlphaTauri Haas to pole, and he's in one of the best top performing cars, and he done took it to pole for only 4 times this season. That's a quarter of the season Max Verstappen's been on pole. Yeah, okay. Y'all looking crazy out here right now. Frank says Hamilton's still proving he has always been better than Russell. Facts. And he's proven that he's the real wet tire king. Max is not the wet tire king. Lewis Hamilton is. In a worse car than Max. I'm not saying throughout the whole grid. In a worse car than Max. In a car that we all know changed 90% and is not really that great, but they're working to make it better. New updates. Lewis Hamilton in 4th place, just a spot off the podium. And with a couple of twitches there, he might have been able to get Hulkenberg. But like I said, I'm still not mad about Hulkenberg getting it. So it is what it is. We do what we always do. We keep the same energy. The stands fans, they don't. They get out there and, you know, they all mad about it. But hey, we will be watching and to see what happens in Spa, because I like Spa. Spa's one of my other tracks I like. I like that up. That section in Spa just gives me chills when I see him full throttle just go through there. So we'll see what happens. We'll be here, but it is time for us to get in the Wolves Den. You got 7 minutes to get into the Wolves Den. 7 minutes we will be in the Wolves Den. I want to hear what you think about everything that happened today. We're going to spend about an hour talking about it. There's a lot that happened, so I should be hearing a lot of y'all talk about it in the Wolves Den. Let's get it in. Let's party. Max Verstappen doing what he does best, crying over the radio. Lewis Hamilton. Nico is definitely going to get the driver of the day. Charles Leclerc, Russell get donkey of the day. And you know what? McLaren is taking it away. Lando, congratulations on your consolation prize. Piastri got unfairly penalized, but still a race is a race and you won that. Piastri, hey, go be a dog out here. Go be a dog. We out. Wolfpack, it's time to get into the Wolves Den. Let me see y'all in there. Don't be late. Don't be late in the Wolves Den. It's y'all time to talk and my time to listen. We out of here. Peace and love. We out.